What has the year been for you, DeForest, if you could define it?
Yeah, it's been one hell of a year. Honestly, literally the best group of guys I've ever been a part of. From the first guy to the last, top of the organization. It's just a bunch of guys that just go out there and fight for each other every single day, and there's no words to explain it. I mean, it's just one hell of a group.
Richard, you've been in this position before. Do you see similarities between teams in the past, or how is this team different than Super Bowls you've been to?
I mean, every team's unique. Obviously, this is an incredibly talented team and a brotherhood and as close of a group as I've been around, and I've been around some really close groups in Seattle and all of those were championship teams. But we enjoy playing the game with one another and for one another. And those are the similarities you see. You see just guys that appreciate the contributions that the other guys make, and guys that are willing to sacrifice their bodies and minds for the man next to them. And you don't always find that in football. You find sometimes guys who go out there and they play at a high level, but they're playing for themselves. They're playing for their families, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with a guy going out there and fighting for his family every day. But these guys are fighting for not only their families, but the man's next to him's family, their kids, their wife. And that kind of powerful pull does something to you.
Did anyone tell him he's not the general manager? Because I see you on the sideline with Lynch, and you and Lynch, the game's going on, but you and Lynch are going at it.
Right.
Talk about that relay. You always were a leader on the sideline and a leader on the field. I know you the whole time, but now I see you taking it to another level. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, in some regards. I'm sure my teammates will have some conversations about that, but.
Your conscience is here with you.
It is great. As you get older and as you see more and you feel more, you got guys like John who are open to input and open to conversations, and Kyle also. Richard Hightower, the special teams coach, has done a phenomenal job, and he's always open. Salah's always open. The door's always open for conversations, and the conversations may not affect the game at all. It may not do anything but ease both of your minds. But I think that's one of the great things about our coaching staff is they're very approachable, they're very transparent, and they're very genuine. They're one of the hardest working groups of men that I've been around. But it's their care for their players and their appreciation for their players that takes it all to another level.
DeForest, what about for you? We know the front seven is so talented, but I told Pat this when we were watching the games leading up to what you're going to face against Kansas City, just the speed you guys play at. I've never seen a defense like the gang tackling that you guys are. There was a ton of white jerseys around the football. Yeah. I mean, just talk about it because, like you said, a brotherhood, Richard, but you can truly see you guys rally to the football. It's like in unison, man. It's like a swarm of bees. Where does that come from?
No, it all starts back in OTAs, man. Chris Kosaric, they brought him in. And he saw the talent that we had in the room, and when you match talent with effort, I mean it's unstoppable. And so back in OTAs, he had us running 80 yards downfield. Even if they completed a goal ball, we're running all the way downfield trying to touch the ball and get back to the line of scrimmage. And we were getting blowed, but honestly, it benefited us. And you could see some of the other coaches getting frustrated. Like Kyle's trying to go tempo in practice, and he has to wait for the D-line running 80 yards from back downfield. So, but it just it just carried over into training camp, into the season. And Coach Kosaric always told us, why don't we set the tempo of practice and how we're going to do things for the rest of the year. And once we start doing that on a consistent basis, you'll see other guys seeing, linebackers, DBs running to the ball. It's contagious. And so that's how it all started. And, I mean, we just was riding with it ever since.
You got a great four-man rush, but I want you to take that comment, and I know you agree with me, 40 sacks from the front four guys, and what it does for the back end, that you can play without blitzing if you want to.
It's trust. It's a lot of trust, and it's a lot of appreciation. Those guys – work so hard up there, because it's not just a pass rush. They got to earn the ability to pass rush, and it's stopping the run first, and that's what those guys don't get enough credit for. Those guys go in there and stop the run. It's Defoe, it's Eric Armstead, freaking destroying tackles and tight ends or guards, whoever you put in front of them. It's Solomon Thomas, it's DJ Jones when he was here. It's Solly freaking is unbelievable, and I don't know how he plays the three as small as he is, but he freaking takes on double teams and is relentless. And then you got just so many guys, Zettel, you got so many guys that freaking just take on that role. Big Earl just came back, and they appreciate one another. Like, it's not just the four, it's a rotation of guys that all freaking have an impact on that pass rush. And so us in the back end, we just want to do our part. You know, you want to reward them and help them as much as you can by having tight coverage and taking advantage of the ops that you get when they're there. Because if you cover well, you give them more time to rush, and when they eat, we eat.
And you had a couple of picks in the postseason talking about eating. How was those 2 slices of pizza?
Right. They were extra pepperoni.
They were good looking too.
I like to get both of your guys comments. Pat and I, as I mentioned, we did the Chiefs game versus Tennessee Titans. Because I played the position for Patrick Mahomes, I was shocked at his ability to manipulate the secondary. You know, he was moving guys with some of the stuff he does, and then the challenge for you to chase a guy like him down, because even that scramble where he got the touchdown, it's almost like you can see him looking at the rush, but yet he's still looking behind and manipulating the secondary. So your comments first on what you see without giving too much away, and then the challenge of getting Patrick Mahomes down.
Well, he's a tremendous talent. You know, he has a lot of ability. You know, the ability to see the rush and still be able to manipulate the coverage and move it and still understand what you're seeing is outrageous. And we look forward to the challenge of competing against him. But he does do a great job, and for how young he is, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's off the charts. But we have a talented group, and we have a group that we believe in what we do. They believe in what they do. That's what's going to make it a great game.
What about for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest talents in the NFL, and like we've been saying, he's a dual threat quarterback. And so as the front, rushing wise, we just need to do a really good job with, containing him. And we've been trying to do that with mobile quarterbacks throughout the season. We know we got to do a better job of it, but it's just really trusting one another in our rushes and knowing the down and distance, the situation of the game, and really just constantly trying to bring pressure, but without giving up contain.
Who would you say is similar? Is Russell similar to the scrambling ability? Like that's probably the biggest challenge for you?
Yeah, I would say Russell, because he's a really good, he's another guy who's pretty much Houdini back there.
Yeah.
He really looks to the rush, but all of a sudden, he's going downfield and chucking it up for a touchdown. So I would definitely compare him to Russell.
When Mahomes scrambles, you said Russell. That reminded me. This kid, he's looking to throw deep whenever he can. He's got that cannon arm. Talk about the discipline when he breaks contain, because the play changes now. You practiced against it for years.
Right. We played it multiple times in our division. Kyler Murray does a great job extending the play. Russell, obviously. We've played it against it multiple times with A-Rod. Another quarterback that did a great job of just that same blindside spin that Patrick does a great job of was Tony Romo, and also looking downfield to make the play. But at the end of the day, it's about coverage. It's about being disciplined. It's about being on top of your guy and being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And if we do a great job of that, then we'll give ourselves the best chance possible.